Thank you so much for all your feedback to DoctorDavidTALKs.WBYL at gmail.com. The clear messages were enjoyment, fascination, confusion, and a distinct request to recap the last WayBetterNars in conversational language. As both pleasing and clearly informing our audience is paramount to our quest to enlighten how to way better one's life, thus it shall be. By the way, I'm taking advantage of the jeans and t-shirt Friday today rather than a suit. So, welcome to the first review called 23 Keys Recap 1, which will spell out key points of the previous 5 WayBetterNars. Based on feedback, reviews will be likewise tailored after every 5th WayBetternar, so please continue freely providing and sharing your opinions. Hi, I'm Dr. David J. Hastings PhD, I think I said hi already, Dean of Habitology University, and your host for the 6th 23 Secret Keys to Way Better Your Life, Dr. David Talks WayBetternar. Strikingly, the focus of these WayBetterNars is strongly aligned toward explaining how things work. This is because once you know how something works, you get to decide how to handle it instead of it otherwise handling you. So with this in mind, let's recap, starting from the outside in other words, from the functionality of our universe H container, one meaning for the H, of course, is home, to the keys so far disclosed that drive you to do what you do. The first universe H key is that our universe H home functions or works a certain way, and thus so does humanity, other life forms, and non-living universe H stuff as well, right from galaxies, planets, rocks, etc. Of greatest significance is that what forms 100% of our universe H's energy base plates are immutable frequencies, which are the building blocks for mass and matter, or universe H's physical stuff we relate to as physical stuff. Consequently, everything from universe H's energy base plates through to complex compounds to the largest physical constructs that we know of, like 1 million kilometer wide supersuns, vibrate only within their frequency range. That's why throughout universe H, gold stays gold, silver is silver, oxygen remains oxygen, people stay people, cats remain cats, and so forth and so forth. Frequency immutability or permanency of universe H's energy base plates is thus the key reason our universe H both has not become a generic blended mush over its 14 billion plus year lifespan, and also why it is totally capable and does of facilitating, sustaining, and flourishing multiple life forms with abundant combinations and permutations. Symmetrically thus, we not only are 100% physically constructed from frequency-driven universe H stuff, but also one's neural processors figure out what is going on out there by employing these very same universe H frequencies, or mechanical energy clues, as we're going to call them. Now, collecting the mechanical energy clues is the job of sensory array event horizons, or sensory neurons specifically. Important because event horizons are the ones that one's only interface actually with the vast out there. In other words, sensory neurons are the touch points or border guards to the rapidly fluctuating mechanical energy clues of one's surroundings or as we call it, bombardment sphere, whose variances, for instance, from negotiating one's way through a boisterous concert crowd to standing alone in the dark, silent room, define one's life. 24/7 and millisecond by millisecond, by the way, a millisecond is 1,000th of a second, arrays of sensory neuron workhorses repeat an extraordinary 3-act concert at nearly the speed of light. Their diligence first accepts, then morphs, the massively varying, ongoing barrage of granular 3-millisecond frequency clues into tags. We call them tags. Thirdly, they fire massive tag quantities to one's fantastically adept brain mass inception filters, which initiate fantastic neural processes charged with both figuring out what is going on out there right now and keeping one safest so far. As a point of interest, the speed of light mentioned above is actually a measurement of distance, not speed. Physicist humor, I'm supposing. Nonetheless, speed of light is easy to understand from the following. Earth's circumference is about 25,000 miles or 40,000 kilometers. Speed of light, 7.5 times around the Earth in 1 second, or 1,000 milliseconds. Very, very fast. Continuing then with clarifying the first act of the sensory neuron concert, important to note is that only when conditions are frequency acceptable to a sensor does a sensory array sensory neuron collect or sensory accept a portion of its very specific bombardment event frequency range. This is called selectivity. Sensory array selectivity means not only that the eyes don't hear and the ears don't see, but also that neither do the eyes see everything, nor the ears hear everything. Selectivity thus also ensures one's neural systems are not constantly overwhelmed, as that would critically limit their primary mandate, survival. Sensory acceptance is accomplished by sensory neurons converting right now frequency bombardment events or bombarding mechanical energy from the out there to an electrical energy equivalent, which preserves the granular what is going on out there right now clues. Second act of the sensory neuron concert, the electrical energy equivalent thus is frequency morphed or specifically tagged to ensure the sensory array source is preserved throughout brain mass processing. In other words, did the tag originate as a bump on the knee or a bump on the elbow? Third act of the sensory neuron concert, tags are transmitted from frontline brain mass processors which amalgamate 3 millisecond same frequency sensory snippets or tags, first into tag clusters and ultimately into current new. Current new is suitably named as current. New represents right now sensory accepted bombardment events. Current new occurrences are then rendered by specialized cerebral processors as events like screeching tires, hearing your name called in a crowd, or a traffic light turning green, etc. Furthermore, current new is not only the neurological currency for all follow-on brain mass right now processors, but also the basis for data archived or storehoused previous current new content, which is suitably called archived old, as it was once current new, but is now archived. I think miraculous archived old can be retrieved at all. Doubly miraculous for me is that not only same, but also significantly similar content or archived old can be retrieved for not only safety and survival mandates, of course, but also virtually reconstituting grander similar experiences like a favorite movie out of the hundreds you've watched or one's third trip to Hawaii. The wonderful symmetry between genetics provisioning a specially configured neural capacity and sensory arrays selectively spearheading the gathering of content or fill significantly differentiates humans from other species. Simply put, genetics provides the barrel and sensory arrays the barrel's contents, fill, or as we call it, archived old. A pertinent takeaway from the above is realization that to get what you truly want, and thus way better your life, necessary, absolutely necessary, is to ensure your bombardment sphere presents maximal, user-friendly mechanical energy, as anything less will not only probably cause havoc, but also limit your becoming all you can be. Limit because as sensory acceptance is the only source for everything you think and everything you know and everything you feel, it is also the wellspring for getting what you truly want. Now all understand that Universe H provides both the many immutable frequencies or mechanical energy clues, and that sensory arrays are the touch points that selectively accept, tag, and then fire tags to follow on brain mass processors, which in turn rapidly process current new and ultimately store it as archived old, of course. It's time to continue our outward to inward recap by clearly describing how diverse brain mass processors incorporate and utilize both current new clues and frequency-aligned archived old retrievables to keep one safest so far by super enhancing, figure it out, and determining what is going on out there. Unfortunately, time is up for this recap one, WayBetternar, as we didn't cover everything presented in the first 5 WayBetterNars. The next Dr. David Talks will be a continuation called 23 Keys, Recap 2. The reference ID for the Dr. David Talks WayBetternar you just watched is, as promised, is capital S01, capital M02, capital T04. Your feedback, of course, as I've said over and over again, is always appreciated. Speaking of appreciated, thank you again to the Asian Center for this wonderful backdrop. Just phenomenal. So interact and contribute by sending an email to DoctorDavidTALKs.WBYL@gmail.com with that WayBetternar reference ID only, please, in the subject line. Until the next WayBetternar, stay safe. Thank you for your time. Much appreciated.